America. Okay, we're gonna have to talk about this. We're gonna have to talk about Amy Barrett. Who the hell is Amy Barrett? Amy Barrett is Donald's nominee for the Supreme Court. You had Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who just died. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who voted, the right way on like every single issue. Ruth Bader Ginsburg's biggest legacy is that she legalized gay marriage with the Obergefell decision, the 2015 decision, which Scalia had said that it was a push, it was an overthrow, it was a judicial overthrow. How dare the judicial branch, how dare the Supreme Court overstep its bounds? And that clerk from Scalia is Amy Barrett. Will Amy Barrett overturn gay marriage? Maybe. Will she overturn abortion? Perhaps. I think you should totally expect it. She's going to get rid of gay folks and their love and their marriage, get rid of the ACA, get rid of Roe, get rid of privacy. She's going to get rid of everything. Anything that you love and hold dear, Amy Vivian Comey Barrett is going to take it away from you. Now, Nathan Robinson, he wrote an article saying that old Amy Barrett revealed that she's a judge who serves the interests of Donald Trump, the telemarketers, debt collectors, bureaucrats, and the cops. So if you were like, who needs more power in our society? The police and Donald and telemarketers, debt collectors, and bureaucrats, then Amy Barrett is the one for you. So expect her to overturn gay marriage. This is Ginsburg's number one biggest legacy, right? She loves the debt collectors, she loves the bureaucrats, and she loves the telemarketers. Now, when it comes to overturning Roe, she's not going to outright overturn Roe. She's going to gut Roe, and then it's going to be so gutted, it'll sink, and therefore it'll be overturned. So she says the way, abortion on demand will probably always stay legal. That's what she says. It's on demand. Abortion on demand, right? Fast food, like, hey, I'd like a Big Mac with some fries and an abortion. Here's your abortion. Thank you very much. Abortion on demand, so abortion on demand is always going to be, that's totally fine and dandy. That's legal. It's totally fine with Amy Barrett. Personally, I think she's against it, but she's like, precedent and case law and stare decisis, and we just got to go along with it. And she goes, there are some ways we can get to abortion, though. When it comes to the Supreme Court, you can rule on clinics. How many clinics can you have in the area? What about late-term abortions? And what about funding? Are we going to let public fund the abortions? So there's argument with public funding. There's arguments with the limiting of the clinics of abortions. And then there's arguments with late-term abortions. So she's going to try to poke as many holes against Roe v. Wade as possible. So fantastic, right? Justice Ginsburg opens all these doors for women, opens all these doors wide open for women just so Amy Barrett can barge right in and burn down the whole damn house. So Ginsburg, she's the liberal lioness of America's top court, right? Being replaced with her polar opposite. My God, that would be like replacing an Antonin Scalia with a Merrick Garland. Oh my God, who would think about that? Doing a Scalia with a Merrick Garland? Even Amy Barrett was against that. Yeah, that's not a lateral change, right? A moderate for a moderate, liberal for a liberal, conservative for a conservative. But now, Amy Barrett's okay for a conservative for a liberal. Amy Barrett's okay with hypocrisy. Amy Barrett's just like Lindsey Graham. Amy Barrett is also a bullshit liar. She's a bullshit liar. I've seen these confirmation hearings, just like Alito, just like Kavanaugh. They're all a bunch of bullshitters. Alito is like stare decisis and predecessor and was real snooty snoot, but he was a liar. And Kavanaugh, I'm so angry. But look, watch his, proceedings. He's a fucking liar. He's a goddamn, just a bunch of bullshit. And so, I don't even know why they had these proceedings. It's all perfunctory anyways for the Kabuki Theater. But they're going to ask her about abortion, and she's going to sit there and say, well, I don't have, my personal beliefs shouldn't matter when it comes to the court. Just my legal analysis, just my superb unbiased legal analysis is the only thing that should matter. Not my personal beliefs. Like Plessy versus Ferguson, right? You can't make a decision about Plessy versus versus Ferguson. I'll just say this, 1954, Brown versus Board of Education, that was a good Supreme Court. The 1896 Supreme Court that decided Plessy versus Ferguson, terrible Supreme Court. So the private views matter. The private views matter. If your ideal America has no abortions, then you're going to rule in that matter. All your rulings will tend towards that ruling, over time. Maybe not immediately, but over time, definitely. Are you kidding me? You're against abortion, now you're seeing this loophole and that loophole and all these other loopholes. And then it's SCOTUS. She's only in her 40s. It's a lifetime appointment. What a sweet job. What a sweet gig she's getting. They're going to confirm, she's going to get up there and they're going to ask all these questions, and she's going to try to Zuckerberg us like she's just, so smart, just on a whole nother level. We're just not even on Amy Barrett's level. We just don't understand what she's trying to, no, you're bullshitting us. We're asking you a direct question. What's your personal feelings about gay marriage? What's your personal feelings about abortion? You won't tell us, you won't answer a direct question. Look at these judges. Look how they operate under questioning. They'll sit there and make a witness, hey, your answer under oath, you're dirty tall, okay? Meanwhile, when they're asked a question, they obfuscate the issue as much as they can. So, Amy Barrett, yeah, I want your opinions. I want to know your beliefs. I want to know you. I want to know the stuff that you're made up of. Yeah, you're made up of star stuff, I'm sure. But so is dog shit. What are you specifically made up of? I want to know your favorite dinosaur, your favorite freedom. What will you bring to the table for us, we the people? Amy Barrett, huh? What are you going to do for us, Amy Barrett? Don't Zuckerberg me. Don't Zuckerberg me. Pretend like you know it all. We're just not up there. Donald and Mitch, they appointed her in 2017 to a federal appeals judge. So even if she doesn't become Supreme Court, she's already an appeals judge. Amy Barrett's already ruled against 2 abortion cases so far, right? Abortion on demand. When it comes to the right to privacy, do you believe the Constitution protects a right to privacy? That's the question. To Amy Barrett says, well, the courts say yes, we have a right to privacy. The courts say yes, meaning that she's going to respect it, but she doesn't actually believe it herself. Oh, for how long are you going to respect it? You don't believe it yourself. So you can only respect, shit you don't believe for so long. Amy doesn't believe in the right to privacy. That's another thing, because it's the abortion thing. Well, since you have a right to privacy, therefore abortion. Amy doesn't believe that we have a right to privacy. Amy Barrett doesn't believe that we have a right to privacy. That's an inherent human right. Does the Constitution protect it? Yes. They protect freedom and assembly and all these listed rights. They protect all these inherent human rights too. The 9th Amendment, meaning there's a whole slate of natural inherent human rights that the U.S. Constitution protects. But Amy Barrett is going to try to tell us that the right to privacy isn't protected by the Constitution. We need a Joe Rogan-style interview with Amy Barrett. We really need to get to know her. We only get who is Alito? Who is Kavanaugh? We get the surface, we only get to know these people on a surface, just on a surface level. We don't actually get to know who they actually are. We just, who is Alito? We know Kavanaugh's veneer. We don't know the heart, soul, and guts of Amy Barrett. Amy Barrett, what would she fight for? Wouldn't Amy Barrett say, you know what, enough is enough, now I'm going to, self-defense probably, but what about, breaking and entering? Can you shoot the person when they're breaking it? Where is Amy Barrett on all these legal issues? I don't know who Amy Barrett is, and I need to know anything and everything that I can find out about her, good and bad, so I can make, my case. I only know a couple policy issues, and I don't like any of these issues. If that's all I got to go on, that's all I got to go on. So Amy Barrett, how is she going to enforce any of her Supreme Court decisions? Let's assume Andrew Jackson, right? He's got a Supreme Court. Andrew Jackson's doing the Trail of Tears. Supreme Court says that's unconstitutional. You cannot do the Trail of Tears. Andrew Jackson says, well, that's fine and dandy, Supreme Court. You got your ruling. Now let's see you enforce it. So will the Supreme Court enforce their rulings on Donald? Will Amy Barrett enforce her rulings over Donald with what? Her biceps? She's going to organize a militia to arrest him. She's going to get her federal prosecutor of a husband to go arrest him. I bet she doesn't do that. I bet she doesn't do anything. I bet you if she ruled something like that and he goes, let's see them enforce it, they wouldn't do shit. So, okay, Andrew Jackson, he's not doing what the Constitution says, so therefore it's extra legal, therefore it's illegal, therefore it's not covered by American jurisprudence. But Andrew Jackson did the Trail of Tears. A lot of people died. So, you know, he ignored the Supreme Court. Is Amy Barrett going to be one of those people that Donald could just ignore? She's opposed to the ACA. She said that John Roberts turned the individual mandate into a tax just to get it passed. So she's critical of Chief Judge John Roberts. She's aiming for the top spot. She's opposed to the ACA, opposed to privacy, opposed to gay marriage. She's Catholic, right? So when it comes to her Catholicism, how big is the dogma of Catholicism going to affect her decisions? She got an invisible man up in the clouds, sure. She got an invisible man up in the clouds, but what about abortion and gay marriage? She hates those two things. But you know what? The Catholic Church is also opposed to war. They're also opposed to the death penalty. Those are good things. Those are good principles the Catholics are against. So I need to know how important her Catholicism is and to what level and in what policies. So I need to know her position specifically on the death penalty and on war. I need to know those two positions. As a conservative, she's all about the death penalty and all about war. But as a Catholic, she might actually be decent on those two issues. So knowing who she is inside and out is not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It just means I just want to know what we're getting. What are we getting? As Americans, what are we getting with the Amy Barrett? She's very pretty, so she talks, real nice. She's very pretty. She seems to know some things. She's evidently a textualist or originalist, some kind of strict constructionalist. Amy Barrett believes in the text totally, not just the words, but the original intent of those who ratified it. She's a professor, so for Lauren Boebert, that means she's a left-wing radical cuckoo bird. It was made to seem like Amy Barrett's eventual confirmation is inevitable. But that's politics. If it looks inevitable, then eventually it will be, right? Everybody's like, it's inevitable. We can't stop it. That's politics. Mitt Romney, Mr. Impeach the Bastard, is considering the nomination. It's considering Amy Barrett. Let's get a conservative in there. So Mitt Romney, people are sitting there saying, it's inevitable. Even Mitt Romney, Mr. Impeach the Bastard's But I believe if they already had the votes, it's Monday, right? So if they had the votes, they would have already voted it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I believe this thing could go one way or another. I'm not for sure. But there's only 4 or 5 Republicans are needed to deflect for this thing to go down. They could get it. They shouldn't. The Democrats cave way too much. But I don't think it's inevitable. It can be stopped. All you need is just 4 or 5 Republican senators to go against it. And what happened to that whole filibuster and the 60 rule and all that? They stopped Merrick Garland and all that shit. How'd they get away with that shit? The Democrats do exactly the same shit that the Republicans did in 2016. So to recap, we really don't know too much about Amy. Amy, the 48-year-old. Amy Barrett. Amy Barrett is Amy Vivian Comey. Wait a second, is she married to Comey? So we don't know Amy Barrett at all, right? We know that she's opposed to Obamacare, she's opposed to Roe v. Wade, opposed to gay marriage, opposed to privacy, and probably a whole lot worse. We know all those things, but those are typical conservative things, and those are only, a handful of issues, which is enough for me to say, that's okay, my God, that's terrible, that is awful. Wait a second, who nominated her? Yeah, no, we don't. No, she's just going to be a partisan hack. She's just going to say Donald can do no wrong. She's just going to defend the bureaucrats and the telemarketers and the debt collectors, right? You think there's enough? My God, all the phone calls today already, and she wants more of that? That's the side that she's on. So the Supreme Court's going to be in the pockets of big plutocrats for the working class people. I guess all we got is the legislative and the presidential branch left. So she's going to do a lot worse. Going to get rid of privacy? That's not the only freedom she's going to get rid of. She's going to make sure gay folks don't have make sure health care, maybe we don't have our health care. Maybe you can get rid of Medicare for all. If that was, get rid of Roe v. Wade, punch a bunch of holes in the damn thing until it sinks. Gut Roe v. Wade. Amy Barrett will gut Roe v. Wade. I'm telling you. She will not tell you this because she's not an honest person. She doesn't voluntarily tell information. She's not trying to give you all the information you need so you can survive. Just enough information so she can get the power, so she can manipulate you and then get the power so she can exploit you. Her elite mores, yeah, right, like she's got some mores. Her partisan hackery is her mores. So she's only 48 years old right now. Supreme Court is a lifetime appointment. A lifetime appointment. So she's going to be fucking over America for centuries. Oh, man, that's fucking fantastic, huh? That's just more red meat for the conservative base. But I just don't see how, this just shows you this is who Donald is. He's a fucking divide and, I guess, conqueror, but just a divider. Just wants to only rule for the Republican conservative base. And who do progressives have? Democrats hate the progressive base, and the Republicans love their conservative base. That's the biggest difference between the Republican and the Democratic parties. But yeah, so vote no on Amy Barrett. We cannot have Amy Barrett be the Supreme Court justice. I think it's a terrible decision. I'm going to read current events. Nathan Robinson, there's a article that I want to read. Perhaps I might say some more, but this, hopefully, this or the next time is the last time I talk about Amy Barrett, and I get back to the business of running this nation. John Masters, peace.